Hey there friend, good morning and welcome to this 10-minute morning yoga practice. My name is Katie and today we're doing 10 minutes just to stretch out the full body and get the day off to a good start. This video is part of a playlist of 10-minute morning yoga practices, so if you are trying to make yoga a daily habit, definitely check that out. But for now we'll get started in child's pose. So come into whatever version you prefer. I like to have the knees spread wide apart. You can keep your big toes together and then stretch your hands towards the front of your mat. Release your forehead to the ground if you can. If not, just rest your hands in underneath your forehead. And we'll just take a few really deep breaths here. When you're ready, pull yourself up into tabletop pose. So you're taking your wrists directly below your shoulders and your knees directly below your hips. Spread your fingers wide apart and we'll do a few rounds of cat and cow. So as you inhale, tailbone points up, belly drops down, chest comes forward, eyes look up. As you exhale, point your tailbone down. Round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest and drop your head. Inhale to come back up into cow pose. And then exhale, rounding down, back to cat. And do a few more like this, or you might prefer just to pause in one pose and just let it settle into your body. We'll come back to center now, back to a neutral spine. Bring your hips over to the left and look back over your left shoulder. And then hips can come to the right, look over your right shoulder. Maybe do a few more like this. Stretching all through the sides of your body. Now you can bring your hands towards the front of your mat. Start to come down to lie on your belly. We'll bring the feet to about hip distance apart and then palms are face down next to your chest. From here, scoop yourself up slowly into extended cobra, keeping your elbows bent here. Relax your shoulders away from your ears and just take a big breath in, stretch all through the front of your body. And then on your next exhale, curl your toes back down onto your mat and start to drag your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Feet can be about hip distance apart here. Keep a bend in your knees. Fingers are still spread wide apart. And with time, aim to release your head towards your mat. Maybe your ears are in line with your biceps. And point your tailbone up to the ceiling. Now you can paddle your feet here, stretch through the backs of your legs. Do whatever you need to do. On your next inhalation, we'll glide forward until we're in a high plank, shoulders directly above the wrists. And then exhale, bend your knees, drag your hips up and back again for downward dog. We'll do a few more like that, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Now the next time that you're in downward dog, you can pause there. We'll start to slowly lift the right foot up towards the ceiling, coming into a three-legged dog. Keep pressing yourself away from your hands, stretching all through that left leg here. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, start to bring that right knee up towards your nose And then you can plant your right foot in between your hands and have your back foot at a 45-degree angle. We'll keep our front knee over the front ankle and then sweep the hands towards the ceiling for warrior one. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Keep your hips square to the front of your mat and pull your feet towards each other. Big breath in and then exhaling, opening out to warrior two. Back foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Front knee still over front ankle. Gaze over your right fingertips. Feet are still pulling together. Take a big breath in. Exhaling, you can release your hands down. Point all of your toes towards the long edge of your mat now, so feet are parallel to the short edges of your mat. You can bring your hands onto your hips. We'll inhale to lengthen the spine. Now, keeping your spine nice and straight, start to hinge at your hips, and then you can release your hands down onto your mat. Coming into your standing forward fold. Maybe your head starts to get heavy here. We'll just let gravity do all of the work here. If this pose is feeling good for you, you might walk your hands back slightly so your hands and your feet are all in a straight line. Now you might take a bend into your right knee, walk your hands over towards the right side of the mat, and then take a bend into your left knee, maybe walking the hands over to the left side. And just a few more like that, opening up through your hips. You can just play and experiment here, see what feels good. This time we'll walk our hands all the way back towards the left. All of your toes now pointing towards the short edge of your mat. You might step your right foot in slightly. It's on a 45-degree angle this time. Front knee is over front ankle, and then sweep your hands up for warrior one. Pressing into the outer edge of your back foot, pulling your feet together. Take a few big breaths in and out. And then on an exhalation, open it up for warrior two, back foot parallel, looking over our left hand this time, and front knee is still over front ankle. Now this time, cartwheel both of your hands down either side of your left foot, and then step yourself back into downward facing dog. Do what you need to do here, paddle it out. And then when you're ready, drop your knees to your mat, come back into your favorite version of child's pose. And just take a moment here to thank yourself for showing up this morning. Bring your hands towards the front of your mat if they're not already there. And then we'll walk both hands over to the right side of the mat, allowing your head and shoulders to follow. Take a few big breaths in now, opening up all through the left side of your body. And when you're ready, walk your hands over to the left. Open up your right lung this time. Hands can come back to center, and then from here you can pull yourself up, come into your most comfortable seat. You might take a moment here just to sit on your mat, lengthening up your spine and maybe closing your eyes. We'll just take a few really big breaths in and out. Thanking yourself for showing up, for getting onto your yoga mat. And I want to thank you for practicing with me. I hope you liked this practice. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. That really helps me out. And if you want to stay on your mat a little bit longer, I do have a 10-minute guided meditation that you can try out. And remember, this playlist of 10-minute morning yoga practices is always here whenever you want to get on your mat in the mornings. So I'll see you next time. Until then, have a great day and goodbye.